Hello everyone, welcome to FOC class 12. This is part 7 of Fundamentals of Java Programming for class 12 IT. So let us begin. Let us first of all discuss what we are going to study today. We will be studying three topics: for statement, style tip of for loop, and common coding errors. The for loop means today basically we are going to cover the whole for statement because we have already covered the while statement and do while statement. Both of these we have covered, and now the third remaining is for statement, which we are going to cover today. So let us begin. The structure of for statement. First of all, we will write the keyword for, and in the round bracket we have to write this. What is this? This is basically the part of the loop, and these are basically three parts. Let us discuss about them. The semicolon separates the three parts of a for loop. As you can see here, we have used two semicolon to separate the three parts of the loop. What are they? First is initial value. The initial value initializes the value of the loop counter. As its name is suggesting, it will initialize the value, initial value. So basically it initializes the value of what? Value of the loop counter. Basically this value, which we call as counter, so its value is initialized by the initial value in the first step. Then in the second step there is test condition. We have already studied about test condition, that it is evaluated, and on the basis of the evaluation we execute or we do not execute the body of the loop. So here also the same thing happens. The test condition test whether the loop should be executed again. The loop is exited when the test condition fails. So if the test condition is true and it evaluates to be true, then the loop is executed again, whereas if it is false, then the loop is exited. Then the third step is change counter. As we discussed here, that counter is the value of the loop that we are using in the loop. So to change its value, to continue to the loop, or we can say not to exit the loop, we have to keep it continue, and that too by incrementing or decrementing or changing the value. So how do we do this? Basically we update the counter, and the third step, that is change counter, is used to update the counter in each loop iteration. We already read about iteration in our previous videos, that a single pass through the loop is called iteration. So when it is passing for first time, then the value will be changed. When it is passing for the second time, then its value will be changed. So this step of changing the value of the counter, this will be done by the third step. Now here again we have taken the same example of writing a program to print the squares of numbers from 1 to 5. The difference is that we have written this program using the for statement, so that this statement is clear to you and you understand the difference also. Here the first three statements are same, which we have been reading. Here we have made a separate class. To understand this example, we have made a separate class for demo, and here is the main coding. Let us discuss about the main coding in more detail. First of all, let us know how do we read this statement or this loop. So in English we read the loop above as for number is equal to 1. Here you can see we have taken the variable as number, and we have also initialized it, means its value is 1. Then semicolon, number is less than or equal to 5. Here you can see we have written using the relational operator. So here we are giving the same in the English language, that number is less than or equal to 5. After semicolon, there is the change counter step. which changes the value of the counter. So here the counter is numbers, so numbers value will be changed. So that is why we have used plus plus number. So what will it do? Execute the body of the loop, increment number, loop back to the test condition. So basically, after testing the test condition that whether the number is less than or equal to 5, it will execute the body of the loop, then it will increment the number, and then it will get back to the test condition. So this is how we read the loop, and this is how the loop works. Let us understand it in more detail. When the loop begins, the variable number is set to 1. As I already told, we have initialized the value as 1. Then the test condition tests whether the loop variable number less than or equal to 5. If it is, then the body of the loop is executed. That is, the square of 1 is printed. So basically what is here is that the test condition is being evaluated, means we are evaluating the test condition, that whether it is true or whether it is false. So here what is the test condition? It is number less than or equal to 5, means it will be checked whether the given number is less than or equal to 5 or greater than 5. So if in the case it is less than or equal to 5, then the body of the loop is executed. And what will be the body of the loop for first step? It will be square of 1 is equal to 1. So this will be the body of the loop, and it will be executed because the test condition is evaluating to be true. The step then increments count by 1. As I told you that after testing the condition and executing, after these steps, the change counter step takes place. Means the value of the counter is changed. So here for changing the value, we have used this statement plus plus number. What will it do? It will increment the count by 1. Here we have the test condition is tested again to decide whether to execute the body. If it is less than 5, the square of the variable number is printed. Now, when we finish the first iteration, after that what happens? The loop goes back to the second step. And what was the second step? It was the test condition. So the test condition is evaluated again, and if it is again true, then the body of the loop, that is the square of the variable number, is printed again. And so we can say that the body of the loop is executed again when the test condition evaluates to be true once more. When number exceeds 5, the loop is exited. Now, there will come a time when the number will exceed 5, because here when we will increment number by 1, then 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 1 4, 4 plus 1 5. Till here the number was equal to 5, but after that 5 plus 1, that is 6. It will be exceeding 5. So in that case, because the test condition is not true, so the loop will be exited. And when the loop exits, no statement will be printed afterwards. Now, what will be the output of this program? Let us see. The output from the program is the squares of numbers from 1 to 5. You can see here, we wanted to print the squares of numbers from 1 to 5, and we have printed here using the for statement. I hope you understood it. Now, a very important term, incrementing loop. As you can see here, we have written plus plus number in the change counter part, because here we want to increment the value of the counter. But what if we want to decrement the value of the counter? Will it be a different thing? Yes, it will be a different thing, because here in this case, when we are using plus plus number, then this loop will be called as an incrementing loop. Why? Because it counts up the loop index, because here we have initialized the value as 1. So it will continuously increase the value of the number 1 till 5. or till the condition becomes false. Until that, the condition will be repeated again and again, and as a result we can say that this is an incrementing loop, because 1 then 2 then 3, so in this way the values are increasing and we can call it an incrementing loop. Now, we may also want a decrementing loop, means we may also want to count down in a loop. So for this purpose, we use the decrementing loop. We have used an example here. The above statement like package statement, public class statement, all those statements are same for these loops. So we are not displaying them. We are just seeing the main coding that we need to understand. So here in this part, what is the difference? The body of the loop is same. That is the statements which are going to be executed. These are same. What is different is this expression after for. So what is different? Let us discuss. Here we have initialized the number as 5 and not 1. And the test condition is number greater than or equal to 1. And after that, the change counter step consists of the statement number is equal to number minus 1. So this is what will happen after the execution, and these are the initialization values and this is the test condition. So here basically we have initialized the number and then we have provided the test condition. So what will happen that first of all the test condition will be tested on the initialized value, means it will be tested whether 5 greater than or equal to 1 or less than 1. Since 5 is greater than or equal to 1, so the statements are printed, and then after this step number is equal to number minus 1, this step takes place. So 5 is equal to 5 minus 1, that is 4. 4 is also greater than 1, so this condition again becomes true and the statements are again printed. This continues till the number becomes 1. But as soon as it becomes 1, after that 1 is equal to 1 minus 1, that is 0. And 0 is less than 1, not equal to or not greater than 1. 0 is less than 1. So it means that the test condition is now false. It has evaluated to be false. So now what we are going to do? We are going to exit the loop. This is how this loop will work. Let us see its output. Here is the output. As I said, till 1 it will continue. The loop will continue and after 1 it will exit. Why? Because 0 is less than 1 and it fails the test condition. Also you can see this is a decrementing loop. How? Because the values are decrementing here continuously by 1. The loop index can be incremented or decremented by any value, not just 1. Means, since now we were only taking plus plus number or number is equal to number minus 1, like these we were taking. But it is not always necessary that we are incrementing or decrementing the value only by 1. It is not compulsory. We can use any value to increment or decrement. Means we can also increment or decrement by 2 or any other value. So here this code that you are seeing on the screen, the following loop increments the loop index by 2. It displays all odd numbers between 1 and 20. So all the odd numbers will be displayed using this loop. First of all, let us see the loop. Here the condition or the expression provided after the for statement is int count equal 1. So we have initialized the value as 1. Then count less than or equal to 20. Here the count is less than or equal to 20. This is the test condition. And after that the third part, count is equal to count plus 2. This is the change counter part. Means till the condition becomes false, this loop will continue, and when it will become false, when the condition count less than or equal to will be failed. So let us see its output. As we said, all the odd numbers between 1 and 20 will be printed. So you can see all the odd numbers between 1 and 20 are printed. That means we have written the right coding. 1, 3, 5, 7, 19, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. All these numbers are odd numbers between 1 and 20. Another important thing is the loop index can begin with any value, not necessarily 1. As we just took the previous example, in that example also we had not initialized the value as 1. We used it for various purposes, and this is what we should follow. The following loop also iterates 5 times and prints number from 5 to 9. So this loop, it is basically used for iteration 5 times, means it will go through the loop 5 times. And what will it do? It will print the numbers from 5 to 9. It is indicating the example that loop index can begin with any value, 5 also, and it is not necessary that it will begin only with 1. So it is not necessary. The counter in the loop iterates with the count values 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for a total of 5 times. Since here the condition is count less than 10, means we want the number to be less than 10, not even equal to 10. So for this purpose, we have taken 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because the initialization value is 5, so we have to start from 5. And till the condition is satisfied, we will continue the loop to that value. After that, in the third part, the counter changing value is given. Count plus plus means it is an incrementing loop because we want to print the numbers from 5 to 9. Let us see its result. So this is the result. We have printed the numbers from 5 to 9 in next to next line, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this was the output of the coding that we have just seen. Now, if suppose here the test condition was count less than or equal to 10, as I just told you that here it is only written less than and not less than or equal to. So, if it was written here count less than or equal to 10, then the loop would have iterated 6 times for loop index count as 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because here we have written equal to. So the test condition is different, that is count less than 10 and count less than or equal to 10. Both of these are different things, and if this count less than equal to 10 is placed here in the place of count less than 10, then what will happen? The loop would iterate or would pass through 6 times. So this is the coding for our program that we just discussed. As you can see here, the output is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 is also here because here we have provided the condition greater than or equal to 10. So it will not stop at 9 only, it will continue till 10, and after 10 the condition becomes false. So after 10 the loop exits. So this is how this loop works. Now let us discuss about some of the style tips of the for loop. First is, if there is only one statement in the body of the loop, the set of curly braces enclosing the body can be omitted. As we also discussed this style tip in our previous loops and statements also, that if there is only one statement in the body of the loop, then we can optionally use the set of curly braces, means we can either use or we can not use. It's up to us because it is not necessary to provide the set of curly braces when you are having only one statement in the body of the loop. Here is example. We have taken the for loop, and here you can see after the expression of 4 we have not provided those curly braces for the block of code, because here only one statement is there in the body of the loop, so we do not need to provide the set of curly braces. Then is you can use multiple items in the initialization and the updation part of the loop by separating them with the comma operator. As I just told in the beginning of the for loop that there are three parts of the for loop. First of all, we initialize, then we provide the test condition, and after that we provide the updation part. So here it is being told that you can also use multiple items in the initialization and the updation part of the loop. How? We have to separate them by comma operator. Till now, we were separating these three parts by semicolon. As we just discussed, that these semicolons are used to separate these three values. But if we want to use multiple items in one value, like in initialization, we want to use multiple values. So in that case, we can use the comma operator to separate them, and then by using semicolon, we can separate the test condition and the initialization, and after that we will again put the semicolon and we will write the updation part. We also want multiple items in updation part, so here we have used comma operator again. Also, you can see here we have omitted the curly braces, because here also the block of code or the body of the loop has only one statement. Next is using indentation to align the body of the loop will make it easier for you to debug your code. As we also discussed this style tip in previous loops, that if we are going to use the indentation, then it will align the body of the loop. And what will it do? It will make us easier to read it, to understand it, and majorly to debug it. Because if your code has some error, then it will be clearly seen if you are using the right indentation. So for this purpose, we use indentation, and it helps us to align the body of the loop. Now let us discuss about the common coding errors of the for loop. Let us discuss about the first error. Initial value is greater than the limit value and the loop increment is positive. Basically, both of these conditions are not possible simultaneously, because if the initial value is greater than the limit value, then the loop increment cannot be positive. Let me explain this through the example. Here we have taken this example where we have committed an error, and the error is that this initial value, that is 5, it is greater than the limit value. What is the limit value? It is less than or equal to 1. Now you can see 5 is always greater than 1. It is never less than or equal to 1. So here the test condition will be false. But the problem is that the loop increment is positive. So after testing this condition, the loop will increment, means it will increment the value, but it will still be false. And it will always be false because the value which we will get, like 5 plus 1 is equal to 6, 6 plus 1 is equal to 7, all these values will be greater than 1 and not less than or equal to 1. So in this case, body of the loop will never be executed, and this is the error that we have committed here. Our second error is initial value is lesser than the limit value and the loop increment is negative. Now this error is just the opposite of the first error. How? Let us see. Here we have initialized the value as 1, and in the test condition we have provided count greater than or equal to 5. And here we, in the updation part, we have given the decrement, means count minus minus. So it will also never execute. Why? Because When it tests for 1, then it is always smaller than 5, so it is false. But when it goes with 1 minus minus means it will decrement the value of 1 by 1, means it will become 0, and like this the number will keep on decrementing and it will never satisfy this condition. So in that case, when the condition is never satisfied, the body of loop is also never executed. Now, third error is placing a semicolon at the end of a for statement. As we discussed in our previous videos also, that semicolon is important in some statements, but it is not necessary in every statement. So you must put the semicolon only according to the need. If it is needed there, only then you should put. You should not put it everywhere, even where it is not needed. So here in this example also, we have put the semicolon after the for statement and it will show an error. Basically, it will not show an error, it will execute the statement, but the result that we want from this loop, we will not get the same result. Why? Because the body of the loop will be defined as empty. What is the meaning of this? The statements within the curly braces will be executed only once, because here the test condition will be tested once and then it will proceed to the uh, updation part, means count plus plus, but after it the condition is stopped because we have put the semicolon here. So it means that we have finished or terminated this statement here only, so it will not proceed to the body of the loop again. It will only execute it once and not as many times as we wanted. So this is why we should not put semicolon at the end of a for statement. Next is executing the loop either more or less times than the desired number of times. For example, the following loop iterates 4 times and not intended 5 times because it exits when count equal 5. Now, in this example, suppose we wanted to iterate the loop 5 times. So here we provided the value, initial value as 1 and this test condition value as 5. But the mistake that we have committed is we have provided the wrong relational operator. We have provided less than, whereas we must have provided less than or equal to, so that the loop could iterate 5 times. But now, since we have provided only less than operator, so what will it do? It will only execute it 4 times and not 5 times. So the correct way would be to write it count less than or equal to 5. Now, what are such errors called? Such errors are known as off by one errors. So, which errors are known as off by one errors? The errors or when we are going to execute the loop and it does not execute the same number of times as we wanted, means it is not executing the same as we desired. So these errors are known as off by one errors. Now last is using a loop index declared within the loop outside the loop. The scope of the variable count is only within the body of the loop, it is not visible outside the loop. Here you can see that we have written a statement out of the curly braces, but it will be an error. Why? Because any statement, any count variable, here we have taken the variable as count, so any variable will only have the scope inside the loop, not outside the loop. So that is why we should always use the statements inside the loop only, and we must not exit the loop and then write the statement because it will show an error. Thank you. That was all for today. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any doubt, please let us know in the comment section or on the Telegram app. We'll meet you soon in the next video. Till then, bye bye.